Hey goal achievers, it's Coach Justin here. If you've been studying personal development and manifestation for quite some time, you've read the books, you've visualized, you've created vision boards, and you've screamed positive affirmations in the mirror all day, every day, but the life you really want, the time freedom, emotional freedom, and financial freedom just feel out of reach, I'm going to give you a simple 3-step process that you can apply into any and every area of your life to manifest your dreams. If this is your first time watching, welcome. I'm Justin Grimer. I've been a mindset coach for over 8 years, worked with over 2,000 clients, and was close friends and business partners with Bob Proctor for over 6 years. On this channel, I show you how to actually implement the principles of success to live the life that you deserve. So if that resonates, make sure you give a follow. All right, let's get into the 3-step process that you can use to manifest your goals. And make sure you stick around for step 3 because it ties everything together and is literally the forgotten step to manifestation. Step 1, you've got to know where you are. Now, I know that this sounds like an extremely obvious thing to say, but I literally speak to hundreds of business owners and people who are working a 9 to 5 and who have been studying personal development for a long time every single month who have a very low awareness around where they are. And I want to tell you a quick story on how impactful really identifying where you are is. And then I'm going to give you an exercise which is going to help you pinpoint exactly where you are. A couple of years ago, I was working with a coach named Sho Nomoto. And when he came to me, he was earning anywhere between $3,500 and $10,000 a month. And when I say $3,500 to $10,000, he'd earned $10,000 a month before, but when we were working together, he was consistently earning between $3,000 to $4,000 a month. And just a little bit of context, and you can look him up on YouTube or you can look him up on Instagram. His name's Sho Nomoto. This guy has millions of followers on Instagram and YouTube. So we jumped on a call and he was going through his self-image statement and the things that he was going to be working on while we were working together. And I noticed that he didn't have anything around money in his self-image statement. I kind of poked a little bit and I prodded and I asked him, I said, why don't you have anything around money in your new self-image statement on things that you want to improve on? And he told me, well, because I have great beliefs around money. And I said to him, what I'm going to share with you right now, it's going to test your current belief system. And you don't have to accept what I tell you right away. You can go away and have a little bit of a think about it. But I've never met anyone who is earning $3,500 a month who has great beliefs around money, especially under the context that he had millions of people in his reach and in his network. Sho jumped off the call. He called me back 24 or 48 hours later. We jumped back on another call and he said to me, you're right. And I gave him a couple of exercises and he spent that 24 to 48 hours really digging deep and evaluating his beliefs around money. This is what he worked on over the next 4 to 6 months that we worked together. And in that 4 to 6 months, he took his income from $3,500 a month to $55,000 a month. And I can remember him telling me very clearly at the end of the 6 months, 95% of what he was doing from a production side of things was exactly the same. He was putting in almost the exact same amount of effort, yet the fact that he properly identified what was holding him back helped him create over 10 times difference in his results. This is how important identifying where you are really is. So I can hear you asking, well, how do I identify where I am, right? You'll often hear me use a word like paradigm, okay? And for anyone who this is their first time watching or they're a little bit newer to my material, a paradigm is a multitude of habits stored in a section of our subconscious mind, and our paradigms are the primary cause of our results. Our paradigms control our productivity, they control our effectiveness, they control our ability to earn money, they control our relationships, they control our income, our decision making, our confidence. Our paradigms control everything. So really is what we're doing when we say we've got to find out where we are, as what we're really saying is we've got to find out where are my paradigms presently conditioned. To do that, all you need to do is take a look at your results. If you want to know where your paradigm is conditioned around money, all you need to do is look at your bank account or your income. If you want to know where your paradigm is conditioned around your personal health, all you need to do is look at your physical body. If you want to know where your paradigm is conditioned around relationships, all you need to do is look at how you treat the people around you and how the people around you treat you. Now, I want you to really remember this. This is no reflection of your potential, it's a reflection of your past thinking and your past behaviors. An exercise that you might want to do is you might want to sit down and you might want to grab a piece of paper and write out the 3 areas of your life. You can have income as one area of your life, relationships as another area of your life, and physical health or personal health as a third area of your life. Or maybe you're watching this just for income, so you can do it just for income, or maybe you're watching this just for your personal health. You can do the exercise just for your personal health, or you could do it for all 3. It's completely up to you. And as what you want to do is you want to write out your present circumstances in as much detail as possible. So I'll just give you a little bit of example. You might write out across the top of the page, I am a business owner and my income is inconsistent. One month I earn $15,000, the next month I earn $3,000. My behaviors are up and down. I let the outside conditions and circumstances control me. I'm always living from the outside in. I'm always worrying about money, whatever the circumstances may be. Now, to do this, you have to really drink some truth serum and you have to sit back and you have to be very objective around where you are. Don't misunderstand me. I love speaking to people who are confident. I love speaking to people who believe in themselves. I love speaking to people who believe that, yes, I'm on the right track and I'm going to be successful. But we have to mix that with a healthy level of self-awareness, because if these 3 simple steps to manifestation are going to work, you have to get crystal clear around where you are. Step 2, you've got to know where you want to go. This is the fun part. This is where you take a pen and a paper and you write out, where do I want to see myself in 6 months' time? How much would I like to see myself earning? How do I really want to live? This is also known as the goal setting part of the process. And in the goal setting part of the process, we want to have 2 things. The first thing that we want is our goal, which should always be measurable and tangible. And I'll break that down for you in a moment. And we want our vision, which will consist of what we want and why we want it. Let's go into the goal first. The pure definition of a goal is something that is measurable and tangible. If you're watching this and you've been studying personal development for quite some time and your goal is to be the best in your industry, or your goal is to be happy, or your goal is to be wealthy, you want to understand that they are integral and very important parts of a healthy self-image. However, they are not goals. Your goal must be measurable and tangible, and the reason why that is that whether it be week to week, bi-weekly or monthly, you want to be able to see if you're progressing or regressing towards your goal. I can use an income example for this. Is what you want to do is you want to sit down and you want to ask yourself, how much do I want to earn in a year? And for this example, let's say this person says $520,000 a year. I just made it up. Then is what we want to do is we want to use the basic principle that Napoleon Hill taught, where he said anything that the mind can conceive and believe, it will achieve. We conceive an idea on a conscious level, we believe an idea on a subconscious level, and we achieve it in the physical. And to help us conceive and believe that 520,000, as what we want to do is we want to break it down into the ridiculous. So as what I have all of my clients do is I have them pick an annual goal and then I have them divide it by 52 and turn it into a weekly goal. Let me explain why. When Napoleon Hill said anything that the mind can conceive and believe, when you're doing affirmations, the physical manifestation of that affirmation will only come when you believe the idea on a subconscious level. Most people are setting goals saying, I want to earn $500,000 a year, but the truth is they will never believe that they are worthy or that they can earn $500,000 a year. However, if you break that down into a weekly goal, and you create an affirmation where you say, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm earning a minimum of $10,000 a week, and I love it as my bank account keeps going up and up and up. You're 100,000 times more likely to conceive $10,000 a week than you are $500,000 a year. Once again, it's small tips like this that can have you putting in literally the exact same amount of effort, but creating 10 to 15 times difference in results. Just to go back over that, the first thing that we want is our goal. It must be measurable and tangible, and it must be broken down to the ridiculous. Break it down to the weekly. I see some people break it down to a monthly number, but for me personally and all of my clients, it has always resonated more to break it down to that weekly number. The second part is the vision. The number one mistake I see most people make when they're writing out a vision is they write out what they want and how they're going to achieve it. We want to remember there's no inspiration in the what and there's no emotion in the how. If we are going to turn these ideas over to our subconscious mind, if we are going to tap into our emotional mind, we've got to write out what we want, which is the measurable and tangible goal, and write out why we want it. I want you to remember this. Your why is your leverage. Your why is your direct path to your subconscious mind. Some example of whys are generational wealth, creating a positive impact in the world, proving to yourself that you can do it and being fulfilled, doing it for your family, doing it for your friends. You might want to live in a big house or drive a beautiful car. These are all great examples of whys. So sit down and take a little bit of time and meditate on what is my why, right? Do I want to create an impact? Do I want to be someone who's known all over the world spreading positivity? Or do I just want to create generational wealth for my family? My whys and your whys are going to be different, but the first step in creating an emotional connection with your goal is identifying your whys. And you might have one why, you might have 3 whys, or you might have 5 whys. And once you've identified your whys, write out across at the top of your paper, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm earning a minimum of, insert your weekly goal, a week, and I love it as my bank account keeps going up and up and up. Write your first why, for example, generational wealth, and elaborate on generational wealth. Tap into how that would make you feel. Really use emotive words. Write it in the present tense and really connect with your subconscious mind. Step 3, the forgotten step, who do I need to become to achieve my goal? This is where you sit back and you ask yourself, what is the confidence of someone who is earning, let's use the example of $10,000 a week. What is the self-worth, the self-esteem, the self-image of someone who is earning $10,000 a week? What are the action steps of someone who is earning $10,000 a week? This is where the power is. We want to understand that yes, goals are very important, but a goal is not for what you get, it's for the person you become in the process. I see so many people focus on the getting and they give no attention to the becoming. See, as you grow, so will your business. As you grow, so will your income. As you grow, so will every area of your life. Now, I'm going to show you something that is really powerful. As what you can do to clearly identify who you need to become to achieve your goal is you can go back to step 1, where you wrote out your present circumstances. And as what you could do is you can go through your present circumstances and you can take a highlighter and you can highlight all the non-productive beliefs and the non-productive behaviors. If we go back to my example where I said 1 week I'm earning $15,000 a month and then the next week I'm earning $3,000 a month. I'm letting my results control me. These are identifying the non-productive beliefs and the non-productive habits. Then as what you can do is you can take 3 or 4 of the non-productive beliefs or the non-productive habits and you can write out the polar opposite. For example, if you constantly let the outside conditions, circumstances control you, and you've written in that I'm always letting my bank account control me, or the balance sheet control me, or the calendar control me, what is the polar opposite to that? Well, the polar opposite to that is I am a process-driven goal achiever. I focus on getting 1% better every day, having fun and enjoying the journey. And you write that in as a part of your self-image. Or you have your income constantly going up and down. I have 1 good month and 1 bad month. Well, you can say, every day my sales are getting better. Every day my income is getting better. Well, you can say, every day my sales are getting better. Every day my income is getting better. Every day I'm becoming more consistent. Every day, in every way, my life keeps getting better. This is a representation of the polar opposite of where you are and what's holding you back and the way you want to see the situation. Now, we're not done. Once you have your self-image statement written out, and I have mine right here, It's about a paragraph long, and it is the polar opposite of 3 or 4 things that are presently holding me back. Once you have your self-image statement written out, this is where 99% of your focus should be. You've got to use this self-image as your greatest accountability partner. You've got to wake up every morning and you've got to ask yourself, am I embodying the person I need to become to achieve the life that I want to achieve? I have coached over 2,000 clients in my 8 years of coaching. I have helped clients double, triple, quadruple, and even 10x their income. And I do that by having them focus on the person they need to become. I see so many people trying to get more without becoming more. This truly is the forgotten step to success. Now, to apply this effectively, you've got to get uncomfortable. You've got to be willing to be a beginner. You've got to be willing to make mistakes. You've got to be willing to fail your way forward. You cannot hole up in the safe zone of behavior and tap into the best version of yourself.